Okay, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be making some Reuteri yogurt, but with a twist. If you want to learn how to make Reuteri yogurt the standard way, I'll pop a link in the description to my other video on this channel. But this one, we're going to be adding in some blueberries. What that's going to do is it's going to flavor the yogurt a little bit with that delicious blueberry flavor, but it's also going to leave us with these kind of half-fermented blueberries in the yogurt that are quite delicious to eat with it. You do want to get some organic blueberries for this because we want to minimize any use of pesticides because that's going to interfere with the Reuteri bacteria. We want them to, those bacteria to thrive essentially. You also want to take out any of the overripe blueberries or the slightly fermented blueberries because again we want the Reuteri bacteria to be the only bacteria that's thriving in the yogurt. Okay. What you're also going to need is you're going to need a starter culture. You can use the tablets as in my last video. I'm going to be using today about a cup or so of the last batch of Reuteri yogurt that I was using. Of course you need some inulin. I'm using a certified organic inulin. Doesn't matter what you use as long as it's organic for the same reasons that I listed with the blueberries. And of course you're going to need your yogurt maker. I'm using a Davis and Waddle yogurt maker, which I'll show you in a sec. Lastly, we need our milk. I got my milk here. It's actually already been heated to up to 80 degrees Celsius, which is around 175 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I've allowed it to come back down and cool to beneath 40 degrees Celsius, which is beneath 105 degrees Fahrenheit. That's going to make sure that the bacteria are going to be thriving and not dying in a milk that's too hot for them. But the first thing we need to do is we need to take these blueberries and we need to pop them in some hot water. What that's going to do is some boiling water. That's going to kill off any bacteria that's sitting in the blueberries waiting to disrupt the fermentation process. So let's go ahead and pop those blueberries into this container here. I'm going to grab some boiling water. This is just freshly boiled. Just adding in some of that boiling water to those blueberries there. I'll fill it up a little bit more. I'm going to let that sit for about 10 minutes or so, and then we're going to continue through the process. So I'll join you back here in 10 minutes. Okie dokie, so I've let these stay in the boiling water for around about 10 minutes or so. Then I've strained them and I've let them cool down. Again, we want to make sure that the temperature that's getting in contact with the starter culture is not too hot. So make sure you let your blueberries cool down. Something else I thought of as well is if you could use other fruits. Of course you can. I don't see why not. I'm curious to hear what you want to experiment with, or if you do, leave a comment and let me know what I should try next. Okay, let's proceed. So we're going to be making the yogurt as we normally do. I'm going to start off with the starter culture here. This is in a vac sealed bag that I've frozen from a previous batch. I'm going to take that out and in the yogurt maker tub, I'm just going to pour all that starter culture in there, making sure that we get as much of it as possible. There we go. Pop that over there. We do want to be adding in a little bit of inulin. The inulin is a prebiotic fiber that helps the bacteria thrive. So the bacteria need a little bit of sugar, but they also need a little bit of fiber to really grow and multiply. So I'm putting in about a little bit more, 2.5 teaspoons or so, and giving that a little bit of a stir here. And now finally, well, not finally, second to last, I'm going to be adding in the milk. By the way, the quantity of milk, what about 1.6, maybe 1.8 liters of milk, which is probably just under 2 quarts. That's just because that's what this yogurt maker holds. So I'm going to pour that in, fill it all the way up, and I've nailed it. It's right up the top there. And now, just going to ladle in So, as I mentioned before, because the blueberries have been heated, they start to go a little bit soft. And you do want to recheck those soft blueberries after they've been heated, just for any blueberries that look a little bit fermented or that may be overripe. Because again, we want to avoid any extra bacteria that isn't Reuteri yogurt. Sorry, that isn't Reuteri bacteria, rather. Okay, giving that a good stir. Making sure all that inulin is adequately dissolved. And some of these blueberries are going to float, some of them are going to sink. I don't think it matters too much. Take your lid, pop it on. And then we're going to chuck it in our yogurt maker, which I've got set up over here. If you've watched the last video, you'll be familiar with the temperature settings, but just in case you're not, you want to be putting it to 38 degrees Celsius, which is around about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And you want to be popping it in there for 36 hours. So it's quite a long ferment. So I'm going to set this here. Let's put it to 38 degrees and all the way up to 36 hours. Beautiful. Pop the lid on there. And I'll meet you back here in 36 hours to take a look at the final product. Awesome. So it's been 36 hours. The yogurt is all done. I've gone ahead and popped it in given it a good stir, and then popped it in the fridge for about 4 hours or so. Now for the taste test. Tastes like the standard Reuteri yogurt, which is a little bit nutty. But the great thing about having the blueberries in there is every couple bites you get these sweet little half-fermented treats. I'm curious to hear what other people, what other fruits people have tried this with, or maybe other flavorings. Let me know in the comments, and I'm going to turn the camera around now and show you what it looks like in the jar. Okay, and there you have it. I've popped a couple extra blueberries on top, but that batch has made enough, at least for a week. Thanks for watching, and good luck.